Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It is cold and flu season. Good to see you.
You are one of those people that doesn't cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze because you don't want to get it on your hands.
What I do
Gross.
is I store my sneeze under my desk so that
He
it's
does
not
this
harming
so that
anyone.
he doesn't touch it. Anyway, to talk about cold and flu
professional.
season is a professional who's going to tell us how Jeremy, my co-host, is. Naturopathic physician Dr. Heidi Rootes is joining us.
Hi, Heidi. How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
So would it be better to just sort of like, and there's no one around, I'm sneezing and I'm not, is that all right? Because it's not just floating in the air,
yeah,
is it?
oh yeah, respiratory droplets. They float in the air.
Respiratory droplets.
So
Contaminating
Dr. Heidi
everybody
says you're gross.
All right, from now on, I just contaminate my hands.
And then
You will watch
And
it.
then
Well,
I
let's
go
talk
on.
about our
We're
immune
fine.
systems because,
Okay.
of course, when that is compromised is when we get to be little sickos. So we're going to talk about what's good and bad in our diet to help that out. So maybe
Yep.
you can explain what we're doing here.
Okay, I brought a few examples of some foods that you want to make sure you're including in your diet and some foods that you're just kind of checking a little bit, because I think that there's a little bit of misconception about what kind of foods are healthy and what the foods are doing for us.
Okay, how does sugar sort of play into the role of your immune system and how it triggers different things and how it fights things
Okay,
off?
so that's a big focus on what we kind of have going on here, is that sugar suppresses your immunity. So there's some studies that have come out in the last few years saying that 100 grams of sugar will suppress the white blood cells, which are your fighter cells. They help fight all infections. They'll suppress your immune system within 30 minutes of ingesting the sugar up to 5 hours. So 50% of your immune system is suppressed for up to
Sugar
5
bad.
hours.
Not what
With
we want to hear
100
after
grams,
Halloween.
that's not all
100
that
grams.
much.
So how much is 100? This is a...
So this is 1 teaspoon. This is about 5 grams.
Okay.
So this is a teaspoon of sugar, and we think, well, that's a lot of sugar. But if we're going to start looking at what we're taking in a day,
Here's a bad one.
This is a can of Coca-Cola, and it's got 12 teaspoons of sugar. So that's that's a lot.
Oh, wow.
So, and then a banana. So how many people have bananas for breakfast?
Me,
It's a
every
really
morning.
common thing to start your day with. Well, you're already looking at 20 grams of sugar with just 1 banana.
Wow.
So if you go out for lunch or you pack your child a peanut butter and jam sandwich, 2 pieces of bread, hopefully you're doing like a sprouted grain bread, but say you were on that Wonder Bread kick still, this is 1 tablespoon of strawberry jam, and it's got
This is how much sugar?
34 teaspoons of sugar. I don't even know how many grams that would be. But
So
Well, you
1
times it by 5.
tablespoon of
So there's
strawberry
over
jam.
100 grams of sugar in
So it's
1
just
tablespoon.
condensed.
It's just sugar.
So
Very-
that is 1 tablespoon is going to suppress your immune system
for 5 hours.
For 5 hours.
Not completely, so you're not
Yeah,
completely immune.
50%.
It's
It's
gonna drain you.
So you have a peanut butter and jam sandwich, you go back to work, you sit beside your coworker who has a cold, and you have
Who sneezes under his desk?
yeah.
Because he thinks
Hopefully you
it's
keep your head
better.
up high, but you have a way more of a chance of and this is why we're getting so many colds and flus.
But you're not
Wow.
saying that having a banana is bad. What
Bad.
you should be doing is
No.
watching how much sugar you're
Exactly.
actually putting
So
in your body.
a banana is not bad. It's just if you're having 3 bananas, or an option to, rather than having a banana, if you're feeling like you're coming down with something, is something like an apple, which has half the amount of sugar as a banana.
Wow. And you have to have a certain amount of sugar per day, hence the servings of fruit and vegetables.
Absolutely, but what we don't realize is often we think sugar, while it's the candy and it's the, all of the refined sugars that we think of, but a lot of the foods we eat contain sugar. So raisins, white bread, raisins, which, we pack raisins for our kids, or, it's a good snack to munch on, but grapes are a much better option because there's 1/3 of the sugar in a
They're
grape.
not the condensed
Right.
from it being
You're basically
dry.
eating candy.
Yes,
Wow.
which
So
is
you're
why
giving
they taste
yourself a
good.
fighting chance to get through cold and flu season if diet is the first thing that
Absolutely.
you take care of.
If you're just a little more aware, and also, if there's
Here's the
stuff
good
going
stuff.
around the office, or if you're starting to feel like you're coming down with something, then it's time to be a little bit more aware. Stay away from the sugars a little bit more, eat a little bit more whole food.
Interesting. So you can actually sort of amend it to what's going around you in
Yeah.
your environment as
Yeah.
well.
Heidi, why are your shoes in front of me?
Yeah. Well, exercise, another
Okay.
really important point. Sorry about the shoes.
Yeah! I'm seeing things.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Why are they here?
So exercise, a vital point for keeping your immune system strong. So one thing that we don't realize is our lymphatic system, which is a waste removal system that we have, but also it houses our immune system. If we keep our immune system primed and ready to go, it's much more reliable for fighting infection. Exercise helps move that lymphatic system. It's one of the best ways you can do it.
Interesting.
It
So you help
also
clean yourself
strengthens
up.
your immune system. Sleep.
That represents a pillow.
Very
does.
important to get enough sleep, and especially in the winter, you'll notice it's a lot darker in the winter. We're supposed to be getting more sleep in the winter than we are in the summer. Preferably hours before midnight are much better than hours after midnight, and our immune system is when we do all of our regeneration. Is
How
in the
many hours
evening.
of sleep is a healthy amount of sleep for
8
an
hours?
adult man
8
or
hours
woman?
of good sleep.
Yeah.
perfect.
Just like Mom told you.
Yeah, 8 hours
It's
of
really
sleep.
funny.
Mom was onto something.
What
So much
are
of
these
this.
little
So
concoctions?
these are my key supplements if you're going to do some supplementation to keep yourself extra bonus, extra strong. A really good multivitamin, a strong multi-mineral. This is a really good one that I use in my clinic, but it's just essential. High in B vitamins. It's got your selenium, your zinc, calcium, magnesium, really good for supporting the immune system, all of the precursors to building strong immunity. This is a probiotic, so we hear a lot about these probiotics
Those
that they're
ads
putting.
by the yogurt companies
Yogurt,
are driving
yeah.
me crazy.
Yeah. Well, this probiotic is really strong. It's got 45 billion organisms in it. So
That's it?
something that you get in a yogurt would be 1,000,
Right.
100,000 organisms. So
25 billion.
you want something that's strong, and what it does is it keeps your gastrointestinal tract strong and healthy. And if your gut's strong, that's where most of your immune system
can
lies.
process
So everything
everything.
sits right there.
Yeah.
So if your gut's weak, then your immune system's going to be weak.
Wow.
And the last guy here?
Again, that is fish oil. And fish oil is an
it's
omega.
so old school.
Actually, they're really
watch out for
nice
the
now.
burps.
They're nice now because they're flavored. This one's an orange flavored one, but the fish oils are good because
orange flavored fish. What kind of mom are you, Dr. Heidi? Okay.
they're one of those really mean
Now we've only got a
mums.
couple minutes
Okay,
left.
so
but
if you
wanted to
do
show
get
us
a
something
cold,
really
switch
cool
it.
here.
Yeah, sure. So if you do get a cold, and we're all going to get colds this winter, but you want to be able to do the most that you can to get over it fast. So we talked about the diet, we talked about sleep, and one of the hardest things about sleep is when you're congested, you can't sleep.
Right.
So you're compromised. So I'm going to do a little experiment on you to show you what you
Awesome.
can do to help drain those sinuses. So before you go to bed, you warm your feet up in some nice warm water. You take your lovely cotton sock, and if I were really mean, I would have ice cubes in here.
So ice would be better?
Yep, you want ice cold water with your wet cotton sock. You put it on.
Heidi's weird.
Come on. You
I know.
put it on.
This is what all my patients say to me. They look at me just like that.
Well, that's insanity.
And I say to
That's
them,
why.
I say
So
to
I'm
them,
putting
try
on
it
my
once.
ice cold
Cotton
wet
sock and a dry wool sock over top. Do it on both feet.
Okay.
And then you jump into bed, and what it does is
With
it's
who?
well, that's up to you,
That's
Fiona. That's
personal
up
choice.
to you.
Personal
And now
choice.
That's for another
But
story.
I'm sick of your
Then
wet stocking feet.
You jump into bed, and what it does is it drains everything out of your head, so all of your congestion goes away. And try it. Just
How long
try
do you
it
put them
once.
on for?
Just go to bed. You go to sleep.
You just go to
And
sleep.
are your feet cold?
Yes.
Well, give it a second. Within 2 minutes, the
She's
feet
put a
warm
cold
up.
sock on my foot. Yes, they're cold. They'll warm up.
Within 2 minutes, the
It's a
foot
body
warms
heat
right
thing.
up, and I can already feel how hot your foot's getting. And what happens is it drains, so it's hydrotherapy, so it shunts everything down to the feet. So you get a good circulation down to the feet, but it pulls all of the congestion out of your head.
Will this
and
help
you
the
can
little
sleep.
arthritis I just
Yeah,
found out I have in my
actually,
toes?
it will really help your arthritis as well.
Awesome. So if you want to find out more information,
I'm gonna try it.
Dr. Heidi
once.
Rootes, why not just put on a pair of cold socks so you can breathe at night and get a better sleep and you all feel better. And you watch out for those sugary bananas, people.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back.